All right, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Oh,
Yeah. We're still time traveling, obviously. That never changes.
of course, of course.
But this time, it's H.G. Wells' The Time Machine.
Classic.
And not just the whole book, though.
Okay.
We're going deeper, focusing on the story the time traveler tells, like after he gets back from his big adventure.
Ah, right. To his buddies, trying to convince them it was all real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a story within a story, which is brilliant when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine you're at this, super posh Victorian dinner party, right? Everyone's all dressed up, sipping their fancy drinks, discussing the latest scientific discovery.
And then bam, this guy's all, oh yeah, I went to the year 802,701. No big deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't you just see the monocles popping out? Totally.
Yeah.
But, this setup, it wasn't just for the drama of it all, even though it's a pretty great image.
Right.
It was very much in line with, the anxieties and the excitement of that era, the whole Victorian thing.
100%. They were witnessing all this crazy technological
Like,
advancement.
the world is changing so fast.
With it came this huge heap of uncertainty, right? So Wells takes this very scientific, even if outlandish, concept, time travel,
Yeah.
and plops it right down in a regular social setting. Would have been so relatable to his readers, that clash of the ordinary and the totally mind-blowing.
For sure. Okay, so picture it. We're at this fancy dinner party, right?
Okay.
The time traveler, he's about to drop some serious knowledge.
Sweat.
He starts by calling time the fourth dimension.
Well,
I know, right?
yeah.
He even calls it duration, like it's some new invention.
Duration.
Yeah, it sounds almost, I don't know,
Official.
right, like he's patenting it or something.
So what's he getting at with this duration business?
He's basically saying everything we think we know about time. Totally wrong. It's not just like this intangible thing flowing in one direction.
Okay.
He's saying it's an actual dimension, just like moving back and forth.
You mean like up, down, left, right?
Exactly. Instead of a river, think of it like a giant loaf of bread.
A loaf of bread.
Okay, hear me out. Every moment, past, present, future, it's already there in the loaf, slice by slice, existing all at once.
I kind of see it.
And our time traveler, he's just figured out how to move between the slices.
Wow.
Right. And get this, he claims he built a machine, a time machine, to do it.
No.
That can move through duration as easy as we walk across the room.
This is getting good.
And boom, just like that, he's off to the future.
No messing around with this guy.
Nope. Arrives in the year 802,701. And get this, the world. It's like picture perfect.
Really?
Yeah, like a garden paradise, everything peaceful, lush, the works.
So where's the catch? With time travel, there's got to be a catch.
Oh, there's a catch, all right. The people, the Eloi, he calls them, they're strange.
Strange how?
Beautiful, sure, like crazy, beautiful, almost like angels.
Yeah.
And graceful, childlike, but
But
it's like they're missing something, That spark, that drive.
what? Like they're not really fully human.
Yeah. And remember how we were talking about the Victorians all afraid of what progress might cost us?
Uh-huh.
It's like Wells took that fear and made it flesh,
You see it in these Eloi, don't you? Like they're living amongst the ruins of this obviously amazing civilization. There are these dilapidated buildings everywhere.
Right. Hints of something grand, now gone.
And they just accept it.
Yeah, almost like they're content to just exist in the shadow of the past.
Not exactly inspiring, are they?
And there's this other thing. It's creepy. He realizes there are no old Eloi.
What? None.
None. They're all young, which, when you think about it.
Where'd they all go? It's like Wells is dropping these little unsettling clues, like breadcrumbs of dread.
Right. Like something's off, but you don't know what.
And let's not forget, the time traveler is stranded, right? His
Yeah.
machine is gone, vanished.
Totally. Adds to that whole out of control, what have I done vibe.
Big time. And speaking of time, there's that scene where he tries to explain it to the Eloi.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with that.
Can you imagine? Something so fundamental to us, they just don't get it at all.
Like trying to describe color to someone who's been blind since birth.
Exactly. Shows how deeply ingrained our perception of time really is.
We just take it for granted.
Yeah.
But them, the Eloi, makes them seem almost alien.
And then, just when you think it can't get weirder, bam, he sees a Morlock for the first time.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Just a glimpse, mind you. A white figure in the shadows. Classic Wells, right? Doesn't need to go over the top to give you the creeps.
Nope. Just a hint of something wrong lurking beneath that pretty surface. Like he's
Yeah.
saying, don't get too comfy, folks. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong about things getting weirder because the time traveler, he keeps digging and ends up uncovering what's really going on with these Morlocks.
And this is where, it's not just a fun adventure story anymore, right? This is Wells, our boy HG, getting
Yeah.
real deep, real social commentary-ish.
Oh, for sure, because what he finds,
Yeah.
it's not pretty. Turns out the Morlocks aren't just hiding in the dark. They're like running the whole show from down there.
Right.
Literally, underground.
Talk about a class divide, right? And they're nothing like those ethereal Illoi either. I mean, he describes them almost like, I don't know, pale ape-like.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast, almost like they've devolved,
Hmm.
right? Like two sides of the same coin. But time has warped them both in totally different directions.
And you can practically hear Wells's own anxieties about his time bleeding through the pages, It's like he's holding up a mirror to the Industrial Revolution, that whole widening gap between the haves and the have-nots.
Exactly. And with the Morlocks, he's saying, look, this is what happens when we let that inequality run wild. You think those fancy machines run themselves?
It's a bit on the nose, but hey, that's Wells for you. Though I gotta say, in the middle of all this doom and gloom, there's Weena, the Eloi woman the time traveler befriends.
Right. It's like this spark of, I don't know, hope, maybe. Humanity in this messed up future, which, when you think about it,
Makes everything way more intense. He's not just an observer anymore. He's got skin in the game.
totally. And things go south fast.
Yeah.
Morlocks find out he's onto them. They try to trap him. And in the chaos, he gets separated from Weena. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and talk about harrowing, right. Fighting his way out of their underground lair, having to use their fear of light against them.
Talk about a desperate escape. But he does it. Makes it back to his time machine, heartbroken, having lost Weena. But here's the thing. He doesn't go home.
He doesn't.
Nope. Instead, he travels even further into the future.
Okay, now we're talking. See, this is what I love about Wells. He could ended it there with the social commentary, the whole be careful what you wish for message.
That he doesn't.
Exactly. He takes it a step further. He's like, you want to see the really big picture, the ultimate fate of humanity, buckle up. And what does the time traveler find? The Earth, millions of years in the future, dying. The sun, huge, red, life on its last legs.
Bleak, man. Bleak. And the only things left are these giant, crab-like creatures on a deserted beach. Talk about depressing. But after all that, after witnessing the literal end of the world as we know it, he chooses to go back to his own time. Makes you wonder, why?
Maybe he was seeing that even with all its flaws, all its inequalities, the Victorian era still held the potential for change, for something better. That even a glimpse of utter despair can make you appreciate what you had, even if it wasn't perfect.
Deep, man. Real deep. And then, just like that, he's gone. Vanishes again, leaving his buddies with nothing but their brandy and a whole lot of questions.
Ultimate cliffhangers, right? And the best part is, Wells leaves it open to interpretation. Did he hop to another time, go back to save Weena, or is he lost somewhere in the vastness of time? We're left to ponder the possibilities.
Which, when you think about it, that's the beauty of a good time travel story.
Right.
Right? It's not just about the adventure. It's about the questions it makes us ask, the choices it forces us to confront. If we had that time machine, would we dare to use it? Knowing what the time traveler went through, knowing the potential consequences, that's something I'll be thinking about for a while, that's for sure.
Me too, man. Me too.